I'm about to show you how to make a head cast out of your own head with just a few simple tools you probably have around your house. Sharpie, Saran Wrap, scissors, clear tape might be the only thing you need to buy for this project, but I'm gonna break it all down for you step by step. Don't let it overwhelm you. It's easier than it seems and may even look at initial first glance, so don't let it freak you out. So here we go. This is how it looks when it's all said and done. I just filmed this on my daughter as my model. And so this is important if you have a hard time with wigs fitting, if you can never get that perfect hairline and you want someone to be able to copy your exact hairline, here you go. And it should take you about 20 minutes. The only thing you do need that you may have to grab someone is a partner. So I don't recommend doing this on your own. It would be really challenging and hard to get super accurate. So you need another set of eyes and hands and a few tools, and let me show you how to do it. Okay, so first and most important tool would be Saran Wrap. You can use cling wrap, but I recommend the original is easier to work with for this project. Clear tape. If you don't have a clear tape like this one, I got this on Amazon, I can link it. Anything like this, packing tape should be fine. Next up would be scissors. You'll want them to cut around your face at some point. Any type is fine. An eyeliner pencil would be great. Any color, just a dark color, like brown or black would be great. Anything that washes off. This is gonna go directly on your skin. And a Sharpie. Again, it doesn't have to be black, but a dark color is great. Optional but helpful items are hairspray or gel to get some hair out of your face and your hairline, a wig cap and wig clips, and not optional is also wig tape, measuring tape, soft tape that we need to do some measurements. So that's it. Grab your tools and let's get going. Okay, so hair prep is going to be our first step. For this step, you want to do it exactly how you're going to be wearing it under your wigs. If you're going to be doing a low ponytail or a low bun, do that. Don't copy what I'm about to do. For the sake of this video, I'm going to do 2 braids and put them underneath a wig cap. You do not even have to use a wig cap. It's completely optional. I'm just doing it for the sake of the video to show some clean lines, etc. If you have a special wig grip you like, use that. Anything you're gonna normally have on your head under your wig, that is exactly how you want to do this. The only important part for the sake of this video, and when you're wearing wigs in general, but we really need to see the hairline for this. So you'll see me hairspraying really, really well and brushing the hair off her hairline because I'm about to go in and I'm going to need to trace her hairline. So that is just a really important step for this. It's just off the hairline, no matter which way you do it. I always recommend, if you're asking my opinion, to do a low bun or a low braid and then just clip it up. Anything that's gonna be the least amount of bulk. In this video, you will see the way I did her braids is bulky. I did that for a reason. Some of you are going to have a lot of hair you're hiding, and I wanna show you how to maneuver around that hair. It's gonna be the easiest if you have no hair or little hair. You're not gonna have that weird little shape you're about to see in this video. So I just wanna throw that out there. Don't worry about it. Every head shape is gonna be different. Our goal is to just do it either exactly to your head shape if you have a buzzed head or a pixie, or if you are tying up hair, you wanna do it pretty much the same way every time. And I know that's kind of a bummer and limiting, but I think you'll find that when you think through it, you probably only wear your hair one way under your wig anyway, so just pick that way and you cannot go wrong. You'll just see me braiding here. I'm just trying to get it out of the way. She has a lot of short layers. I do like braids if you have short layers for this, especially under wigs. It works really well. You can just even bobby pin them side to side instead of the way I'm about to do it. It'll be a little bit less bulky as well. So just braiding it to get it out of the way. And then I will be putting a wig cap on. Again, not necessary, but at this next step, instead of a wig cap, if you have your favorite wig grip, reach for that instead. Now that her hair is tied up and out of the way and I have her wig cap on, I am just putting some clips on to just secure it so it's not sliding anywhere. If you have one of these around for this project, I do recommend it. It just helps it not be so uncomfortable underneath the Saran Wrap, but again, completely an optional step, but helpful. Now you're gonna grab your eyeliner pencil or your eyebrow pencil, and this is where it gets fun. So I'm basically trying to draw as close to the hairline as I can, not directly on it. You're just gonna go a little bit outside of it, but as close as you can to it for the most accurate representation. She has those little baby hairs that juts out, and I'm following even those because that's important. You're gonna need those covered for your wig, right? So you wanna trace exactly your hairline. The wavier, the better. It's gonna look the most natural for you. So follow every curve around that hairline. And when you get to the bottom, you'll see me lifting up any of her sideburn hair. You wanna lift that up so you're not going too low, because the wig maker, if it's me, I will think that is where your ear to ear hair stops, and I will ventilate hair all the way down there, which you will not need, and you'll eventually cut off anyways. So as you're tracing around, I always start from the top. I do one side down to the ear, and then I do the other side down to the other ear, lifting those little baby hairs up out of the way. And it's best if you can gel those up. I don't want to torture her, but if you can on yourself, it will be helpful for the next step we're about to see. Okay, so as you go, you've just finished doing the front of the ear. You don't need to draw all the way around the ear. You'll see we're gonna just trace the ear later, but just start up as high as you can back behind the ear and continue off where you left off. And most hairlines, not all, will have a little point on each side, and you really make sure you wanna follow that point around, and it kind of arches up. Again, that's a typical hairline. It might not be you, but just follow that hairline up. You see how I'm skipping those little neck baby hairs? They're just baby hairs. I wouldn't want to ventilate a wig around those. Anything you think the wig needs to cover. I'm having her turn her head here, so it's not going to be super accurate. You're going to see I'm going to go back in and adjust that. So make sure your head is straight on when you're doing this, and for the most accurate line drawing measurement, it's just the most helpful way to do it. You can see how, because I had her turn her head, it's actually a good demonstration. I'm just gonna go back in and bring that up a little bit. And hairlines aren't even, so don't stress about it. I don't expect to see an even hairline. Next up is finally the Saran Wrap. So we're gonna do 2 main pieces on most heads. Some heads might need 3, but always start at the front, go down past the eyebrows, because you'll see why eyebrows are important later. I will explain. And her head is so tiny, I'm able to connect it to the back, but you may not be able to, and that's okay. This piece is mainly to cover the front surface area, and that's all we need it for. So I got that front piece on, and now I'm about to put on the back piece. You're going to want to come at it from the back of the head and wrap towards the front. So I'm going to pull it open, and I'm going to just set it on the crown and wrap it towards the front of her head to really capture that back rounded shape of her head. And then if you're the person in the chair getting this head mold on, you're going to want to have the person doing it twist the Saran Wrap a little bit and pull it towards the front, and you're going to want to hold it, because the back piece can be a little bit tricky. It likes to sneak up on you. So by holding it while it's getting taped, you're going to have a much better chance of it not rising up. So just chill there, hold on to that Saran Wrap, and then if you are the taper, you're going to start taping in the front center. I am not demonstrating this in this video, but if you would like, and I would highly recommend this, tape all the way down to your eyebrows. You'll see why it's important if you have bangs, if you want some face framing layers cut. It gives us an exact template of your forehead for that cut. So I'm taping from the middle, and I like to work my way down one side all the way down past the ear, and then I like to work my way down the other side of the front. And I'm only taking tape pieces to about the mid crown. And if you're not sure what your crown is, that is the flat part of your head as it curves down. If you were to put a comb on your head, it would get flat in that spot. So I'm taping about there. It's not an exact science, just roughly there, so you're not taking too large of pieces or too short of pieces, because you'll see there's a specific method for the back, and then we're going to join it all together. So having the right tape width is efficient and helpful, and not taping too much. So make sure you're holding on to those front pieces, especially as you get down to those ears. We don't want that Saran Wrap riding up the back of the hairline. It's just not fun. And I'm going to tape all the way down, almost to the bottom of the ear is a great place to stop. So even if you're unsure, go farther. Farther is better than stopping too short, especially with this project. You can always cut away fabric or Saran Wrap, but stopping too short is going to leave you with not a complete head cast, and that defeats the whole purpose of this. So again, I'm placing front to back, and as you can see, as I'm wrapping around the head, it is going to go in a circular pattern. So it should be pretty effortless following the head around. And I'm going to stop just about there, maybe one or two more, but we're getting pretty close. And then we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. You can feel free to speed it up if you need to, but I am keeping it in real time just for anybody who wants to follow along and do it with me. If you're unclear on taping, I just wanted to provide a complete visual for you for this process. Now onto the other side, again doing the exact same thing, working my way from the top all the way down to the ear, just overlapping that tape and working my way from front to back as I press the tape in. I'm stopping about there in the back, as I explained on the other side. It's just a good place to stop. It's where the head transitions to the back of the nape. So transitioning, taping, working your way there. Again, it's worth mentioning, tape over your eyebrows, especially if you have bangs. If you don't have bangs, it's not the end of the world. But if you're doing it, you might as well have more information than not. So I say go for it in case you ever change your mind on the road. I would recommend doing this maybe once a year or just every time you need a new piece built. Our heads do change if you gain or lose weight. So just keep that in mind. It will last a very long time. But as far as checking in with your own head measurements, I know that when I gain and lose weight, my head measurements change a little bit. And I know that to be true for many other people I've worked with. So keep this up to date. It's not super hard to do. But having this head cast is just so wildly beneficial for so many reasons. Now that the whole front is taped, we're going to move on to the back. And here is where the taping technique is going to come in handy and why you're probably glad you've had practice in the front. So you're going to start at the bottom and push your hand up and really get that curve either of the head or of the bun you're working with. If you start from top to bottom, you're not going to get that shape. The tape's just going to skip over it. So you want to start bottom, just press it in and just slowly push in with your hand and gently guide it up. Again, still going vertical. We're going to do that from the middle to the left and the middle to the right or vice versa. Just pick a middle and go with it so you can follow that tape line. Since everything is so clear, it can be a little bit hard to see at times, but just even feel with your fingers, you can feel the difference of the tape versus the Saran Wrap, and just overlapping slightly with the tape will not hurt you and is going to be more beneficial in the long run than having some holes in your cast, because then it won't last as well and it's going to compromise the integrity of the cast. So I'm going to work my way all the way over till I meet the ear where I stop taping the front. And on her head, right about here is where I'm going to start meeting up with the front tape that I stopped with. And as you follow the tape around, it again just kind of hugs the head pretty naturally, and it all pretty much falls into place. But don't worry if it doesn't, because we are about to go back in. We did vertical from the front and we did vertical up the back. And now to really lock in the shape and secure it, we're about to go in horizontal once I'm done finish taping the side. So you can fast forward through this if you're having an easy time. If you'd like to keep watching me tape, it is here for you. Just starting at the bottom, don't get impatient, and just gently guide it up the shape of the head. Okay, so now I'm about to go in and do my horizontal taping. I thought about starting at the bottom. I always want to do that, but it's best to start at the crown and work your way down the back and then the front. So kind of opposite of the first way, and just horizontal tape all the way down to the nape. This is really locking in the shape and making it more secure. If we just left the tape one way, it would be a little bit flimsy and it'd probably fall apart. So we're really just locking in the shape. That's why the direction you're taping is important. And it really smooths it out any gaps. The first time I tried doing this, I had a little air bubble at the top where the crown was. I think that is how, if you tape the wrong way, you can encounter that. So just be mindful. And if you mess up, it's just a little tape and Saran Wrap. You can definitely start over. Okay, so I just taped from the middle of the head all the way down the back. Now I'm going to go follow that line all the way to the front. Again, I'm super bummed I forgot to tape her eyebrows, but hopefully I've driven that point home by now about taping eyebrows. It's just super helpful for your wig maker, whether that's me or someone else. It's so cool to have someone's head on your block. What we do when it gets to us is we put it on a block, and then we stuff it with stuffing and or cork or a combination of the two to make it just firm and exactly your head shape. And then we're able to build your wig base off of that. And it's super cool to just write your name on it and be like, this is so-and-so's head. It's just the coolest thing ever. I love it so much. So just taping all the way up. So much tape. I went through about a roll for this project. If you do end up buying the one I recommended on Amazon, it comes with a large handful. I want to say 8 or something like that. It's a good amount. I've done several head casts and I have yet to run out of tape. Okay, so this is optional. I like to pause at this part and cut the excess tape that I'm not using. Again, it should be below the eyebrows. I skipped over her eyebrows. I was a little bit worried about her getting claustrophobic. And if you do get claustrophobic and you don't want to do your eyebrows, no big deal. It's totally fine. But if you are, make sure you're taped over them and don't cut them off at this point. So this is going to help her feel a little bit better about this whole situation. The things my kids do for me and my wigs, they are the best. Seriously. back to drawing. So now I have it taped and we're going to follow the eyeliner line we started with in the beginning. It gets a little bit hard the more fabric towards the end of the sideburns, but you'll be able to see it. So just following along with the Sharpie over the tape, and that's what we're going to do all the way around the hairline. And for the ears, I'm tracing right on the edge of where her ear ends, not any higher than that. I want it to be as close as accurate as possible. Her ear is pretty squished up against her head, and that's good. I want to trace right around it. There is another thing we're going to do with the ears later on, but for this step, that's all we're going to do is just trace that ear shape. I always like to start from the top and go one side and then down the other side. It's just helpful. And for the back, make sure the head is just facing straight on, the head isn't turned. And again, following that most likely horseshoe shape, upside down horseshoe. Some people's are more straight than others, but if you have this, please copy it exactly like it. As a wig maker, we will work around it, but we want to see that exact shape your hairline is. So here for the ears, we're going to find the spot in the front and the back of the ear that if I were to stick my tail comb through her ear, it would be sitting just at the top of where her ear meets her head. So not the top of the earlobe, but for where her ear meets her head. I didn't want to freak her out, but if you're brave enough to stick a little tail comb through there to make sure, and then connect those dots like this from front to back, that is the exact measurement we would love to see. So that should be the top of her ear, where her earlobe. Not where her earlobe is, but where her ear meets her head, because that's where we want the wig cap to sit. Hopefully that makes sense and I explained that clearly. So do that on both sides. Do an X marks the spot in the front of the ear and the back of the ear. And then now is a good time, if you have a certain place you like to part, maybe one, two, or three parts, mark that with a dotted line, a dashed line, I should say. You don't want to do a solid line. It just helps us differentiate the hairline from any parts wanted. And then same thing with the front of the hairline. This was a little wispy spot. So if you have those little wispy spots in front, mark those with little dashes like this. It really helps us out as far as your natural growth pattern, seeing those sparse areas versus fuller areas. So I marked her part and her dashes where her little baby hairs are. I would have marked her eyebrows at this point. Still mad about that, but we're going to move on eventually. And now is where we're going to just a little bit more tape. You need to tape over the Sharpie or it's going to rub off. So you don't have to fully tape the whole head again. You're just taking enough tape just to tape over where you marked with Sharpie so it doesn't rub off in transit anywhere and it's locked in there. And we have it forever as long as we keep the head mold. It's locked in. If you don't cover the Sharpie again with tape, it will rub off. Or alternatively, if you messed up any areas, just get some rubbing alcohol before you go to tape over it and rub it off and you can start over. So all that taping work will not be wasted. You could just wipe it off, start over, and then once you have your solid shape, tape on in there. I just like to work my way around so I don't lose where I taped, because at this point, there is so much tape on the head, you won't know what's left or right, or up or down, or in a box with a fox. You know what I'm saying? So lots of clear tape, lots of Sharpie, lots of markings. We're just locking that in right now. Once you're done taping, the very last step before removing this from the head is taking measurements. So you want to take a measurement while the cast is on your head so you can cross-check it when you have a measurement with it not on your head to make sure you did it pretty darn right. The front to back might be a little bit skewed with your bun, but that's okay. We want to see the difference. having that information, the more information we have, the better. So you're going to do your front to back, your ear to ear over front. I like to do the ear to ear over crown, and then as well as the circumference. And then you're going to want to take your measurement again once you take it off. And just cross-check it. You can send us both measurements. That would be amazing. The more information we have, again, the better. And now you just kind of squeeze and pull. If you went down around your eyebrows, you might need to cut a little bit of a slit, and that's okay. We can put it back together. But if you didn't, it's pretty easy to get off as long as you squeeze and slide it off your head. And there you go. You have a head cast you can send in. I hope this tutorial was helpful, and good luck with your head cast.